So the Prime Minister due back in Parliament this week, but doesn't have much to bring to the table. Where do we go from here?
Good morning, Nera. Well, she has very little to put on the table. She's been told the backstop cannot be ditched, it cannot be time limited, and the EU simply just won't reopen the withdrawal agreement. So you could argue the vote this week is about the timing, it's about the process. She's made it clear she's willing to listen as long as she can still get control of the timeline of Brexit. The one thing I would say, though, keep a very close eye on. In Brussels, you also get the same impression. It's the Labour Party. They really do think that the proposal that was put on the table last week could really switch things. And in the eyes of the European Union, it's no secret that they would rather have Prime Minister May go for a cross-party deal that potentially heads to a softer Brexit than to actually have the Prime Minister turn inwards to the more Eurosceptic side of her Conservative Party.
Yeah, and Maria, you mentioned the view of the EU. What is the view from Brussels on extending Article 50?
Well, Naira, that's a very good question, and it's a very good point because everyone I speak to had already assumed that the Prime Minister would be forced into extending this deadline. So they're actually quite confused, and they really want to see what the plan is here. And they really do think, and there is a growing sense that perhaps the Prime Minister is just letting the clock really just run until March to potentially just put on that time pressure. But it is a very risky strategy in the eyes of Brussels because they do think it could potentially lead to this idea of an accidental Brexit. And that is something that I hear quite a lot. This idea that perhaps you take it so much to almost a cliff edge that you could get a no-deal Brexit almost by mistake, by accident.